in which the highest form, the highest light of Savitri, the most blessed one, Varaniam, the most blessed light, is invoked so that we can meditate upon it and we pray that our intellect is driven by it, is guided by it, inspired by it. Sri Aurobindo has given a new Gayatri for our age. That was the Gayatri of Vishwamitra in the Rig Veda. And Sri Aurobindo has given a new Gayatri. It is very similar to the other one, and yet significantly different. Savitur Varam Rupam Jyotihi Parasya Dhimahi. It says we are meditating upon Varam Rupam Jyotihi Parasya. Varam Rupam, the most favored Rupa, the form of the supreme light, of the supreme Parasya, of the transcendental. Yan Naha Satyena Deepayet, so that our whole being, Naha, is not only the intellect, but our entire being is illuminated. Yannaha Satyena Deepa, and that illuminated by the truth. Now, Sri Aurobindo has not only given this Gayatri Mantra, but he has also given us a great gift. If you ask, what is that? Tas Savitul Varam Rupam Jyotihi. What is that supreme form of the highest light of the Supreme? It is the life divine. This entire body of knowledge that is here in the life divine is what I consider to be Tat Savitur Varam Rupam Jyotihi Parasya. This is how I understand the life divine to be. In the whole world, if you go around in search of knowledge, the most blessed form of that light available to us is this light, is the life divine. The more we study this volume, the more we shall enter into this light. And the most that we need in our life is to be found in this tremendous volume. At one time, Sri Aurobindo in 1912 wrote a letter to his younger brother, And he said, I want to put before mankind, I'm not quoting exact words, but he said, I want to put before mankind an expression of the truth in which there is no error whatsoever, something that is without any error. And thereafter, we find in 1914, Sri Aurobindo manifesting that light which is without error. And from 1914 to 1921, Sri Aurobindo wrote series of writings. Several books he wrote simultaneously. Among which this Life Divine may be regarded to be the most principal. The other one is the Synthesis of Yoga, The Secret of the Veda, Upanishads, Essays on the Gita, The Human Cycle, The Ideal of Human Unity, and The Future Poetry. Each one having a specialized domain, but this one, Life Divine, stands at the top of all these works. It's a rare opportunity where we get the time and leisure to turn to this great, which I consider the greatest writing of our times. When you read this book, you find that this book is, as the mother said once, it is intellectually perfect. Now, what is that intellectual perfection is a matter for us to understand. We normally start intellectuality at a very late stage in our life. And then to think of coming to the perfection of intellectual development is also a far-off cry. But there are two things to be remembered when we start this work. It is an intellectual work. What is the meaning of an intellectual work? Every domain has its own approach. For example, Synthesis of Yoga has a domain which is descriptive. Yoga is a scientific work. Yoga is a science. And science is a description of processes. Any book of science, if it is to be perfect, it has to bring out the processes of things, of phenomena, and describe them as fully as possible. Unless you get a description of a process, you won't call it a scientific work. Similarly, if you have a work of art, a painting, for example, is a work of art. what is the speciality of a work of art? It may not be a very long book on the subject. It may be even a short piece. It may be drama, it may be poem, it may be a painting. Yesterday, Sarita did a tremendous painting, and I said, please put it up before us so that we can see it. This one painting which she did yesterday. It's a beautiful piece of art. An artistic piece is basically a piece of form. Unless there is a form, there is no art. It's the essence of it. But a form which has significance. These two words are very important. There must be significance and there must be a form. The moment you have a significant form presented to you, and we say it's an artistic presentation, is the one in which the significance of form is driven home as soon as you see it. That's an artistic form. A technological work is a work in which not only the process, but the detail of a process is described, in which what is sought to be produced can be produced. The element of skill is prominent in any technology. So a technological work is perfect only when a process is so described that what is sought to be produced, in which the right skill is to be utilized, is emphasized. Then it is a technological work. Technologically is perfect. An airplane is a technological perfection because the procedures are so arranged with each other that it can fly ultimately. Similarly, in this context, we ask the question, what is the speciality of the life divine? It is fundamentally a philosophical work. And what is the meaning of philosophy? Because then only we can appreciate this work. In philosophy, we utilize our intellect. And what is intellect? An intellectual process is fundamentally a process in which you proceed from one point to the other point by a movement of a train of ideas. Idea is the most important thing in philosophy. An ideative process, a train of ideative thought, which begins with a certain starting point and which can end at another point. This ideative process is a process of thinking. But philosophical is more than mere ideative process. It is a process of ideation and articulation. Merely having an ideative process you can think in your own mind, but it may not be articulated. A philosophical thinking is not only an ideative process, but also there is an articulation of it. Articulation means expression. An expression in which there are words, and these words are attempted to be clarified, where the nuances of the words are all stratified to the utmost possibility. Not only articulation, but utmost capacity. As it were, when a word is used, that word carries with it its utmost capacity of expression. Then these words are arranged in a systematic manner so that this systematic exposition of the words bring out, this is the most important word, bring out a meaning. Unless the meaning is expressed by the articulation of the different words and their arrangements, unless this is done, it's not yet philosophical. But this is not all. There must be in any philosophical statement certain further qualifications. There must be an attempt towards totality. This is a speciality of philosophical thought. When I say a statement is scientific, it is scientific only because a process is described regarding a particular small domain. But a philosophical statement is philosophical only if it pertains to the totality. It's a very special kind of approach. A philosophical statement is philosophical only if there is a reference to totality. This is a further qualification. A philosophical approach is the approach of the intellects. You can approach totality in different ways, but the speciality of philosophy is it approaches totality intellectually. Now the very nature of intellectuality is a train, as I said earlier, of ideas running into other ideas, having a starting point and a conclusion. Therefore, in a philosophical argumentation or presentation, there must be a starting point which is so described